Okay, there we go. So, Shalom again.
Shalom.
So, Taire, Tesaniyah. You can both be up here. Okay. So, our presentation is celebrating Black History for Black History Month. Of course, you have a couple different notable historical events and people of note.
Well, yeah, just highlighting the history and making sure that during this time we celebrate the contributions that African Americans have made to this country, and just acknowledging that during this time where the government is trying to eliminate our history and our contributions, that we are able to highlight these things and acknowledge not only where we've come, but where we can go. And that's the most important thing, when we acknowledge not only our history from biblical times, but the times here, we're able to have a better sense of dignity and respect towards all the things that we've endured and the things that we've overcome, and how that can contribute to us becoming better, not only as people, but people of the Most High God. So.
So nobody's free until everybody's free. So now we're looking at the emancipation of slaves and the abolishing of slavery in this slide, New York. So on March 1st, 1817, New York State set July 4th, 1827 as the date of final emancipation, which again would totally abolish legal slavery, which was made legal by the 13th Amendment, and would be the first state to do so. On September 22nd, 1862, President Lincoln issued his preliminary Emancipation Proclamation, which will be finalized on January 1st, 1863, which stated that enslaved people in the Confederate States, again those that seceded from the Union during the Civil War, it declared that those people would be made free. It wouldn't be until June 19th, 1865, that the Union soldiers would arrive in Galveston, Texas, and make the news known that slavery had been abolished. This would be known as Juneteenth. And again, looking at the 13th Amendment that this is all based around, it states that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the parties shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction.
So I included this section because the Library of Congress has a large selection of interviews that they did with people who were born into slavery. And so they had a lot of transcripts, but this is actual recording of this woman, Aunt Harriet Smith, who was born into slavery, talking about her experience in slavery, which I know that when we discuss slavery, there's kind of this disconnect, but I think that this really helps humanize and personalize the people who we're talking about, because being able to hear her voice and talking about the things that she endured can help us do so. So hopefully this works.
Mm-hmm. The baby boy. Where was that? Where did he live? That's out here in Hayes County.
How many slaves did he have?
Well, he had my grandma and my mom. My mom was the cook. And grandma, and then they worked in the field and everything. I remember when she used to plow oxen. I plowed oxen myself.
Is that right?
I can plow and lay off a cornrow as good as any man.
Is that right?
Oh, so can.
Well, good
Chop,
for you.
chop, get cotton.
But yeah, that's just like a small segment. It was one of 4 parts. So if you do want to listen to it, again, Library of Congress interview with Aunt Harriet Smith. There was also one with Wallace Quarterman, and these are all available for you to listen to, as well as with the transcripts, so you are able to listen to it. So now we're going to talk about the origins of Black History Month. So Black History Month actually started as Negro History Week. So you had Carter G. Woodson, who chose the second week of February in 1926 to become Negro History Week, because that's both the week of Abraham Lincoln's birthday, who is considered the great emancipator because of the Emancipation Proclamation, but also the birthday of Frederick Douglass. And so he chose that to be the second week of February to celebrate those birthdays, and as well as to emphasize the celebration of African American contributions. He also had established the Association for the Study of Negro Life and Culture to do the same. And it wasn't until 1976 that Black History Month was created. And so even though it's a short month, it has a lot of historical significance and things that should not limit when we celebrate our people, but it is a good time because it was chosen by one of our people to celebrate.
Moving forward with another crucial part of Black history is the Black National Anthem. The song "Lift Every Voice and Sing," which was written by James Weldon Johnson with music composed by his brother J. Rosamond Johnson. So it was first performed on February 12th, 1900, in Jacksonville, Florida, in celebration of Abraham Lincoln's birthday. Again, also aligned with the week that Negro History Week was placed into. It then became known as the Black National Anthem in 1919 when it was promoted by the NAACP as such. It was then added to the National Recording Registry in 2016. That being a list of recordings that have cultural, historical, and aesthetic significance in the United States, in which reflect and inform about American life. And these are the lyrics. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Y'all want to sing together? Because neither one of us are singing. If we start, y'all gonna cover your ears. So.
Y'all set it off.
All right.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has brought us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
So that's what most people say. That's what we see.
Yeah, there's more to the song. It's a yeah.
It is long. It was originally written as a hymn. So the two brothers wrote it as a hymn, and it was performed in Florida at that time, actually by about 500 school-age children. And so they had it sung, and that really popularized it.
Wasn't one of them a principal?
Yes. So just to highlight one historical Black figure that we hear a lot about, but don't actually realize it. So George Washington Carver, I know we attribute him to being the man who created peanut butter. That may not actually be true. However, he did come up with 300 products to use peanuts as well as soybeans, sweet potatoes, because after slavery, because they only were cultivating cotton took a lot of nutrients out of the soil. So now you have soil that can't really help the people, and cotton that's not really being picked in the way that it was before. So he recognized that not only do these legumes, so peanuts, soybeans, and then sweet potatoes, add nitrogen, they're also a source of protein. So in creating all these ways to use peanuts, whether for milk, flour, ink, dyes, plastic, wood stains, soap, linoleum, medicinal oils, cosmetics, and sweet potatoes. You could do flour, vinegar, molasses, ink, synthetic rubber, and postage stamp glue. He allowed not only for these things to be planted and to better the soil so that it can actually be used, but also with the excess of these things being grown, you now have so many ways in which they can be used. And George Washington Carver actually taught at the HBCU, Tuskegee University, that's it, yes, in Alabama. And also, we have Henry E. Baker. So he worked for the United States Patent Office. And so while he was there, he recognized that the Patent Office and society as a whole did not acknowledge the inventions of African Americans. So in working for the Patent Office, he was able to compile all these black inventors that he was able to see because he had access to these patented records. And so his book, The Colored Inventor, A Record of 50 Years, was published in 1913. And I just included a little snippet. This is also available online. I think it's called the Gutenberg. So it's just like, has all these things. This is just like a screenshot of how it looks on the website, but you're able to read through it, and it has so many different people who have contributed to, again, the United States and all the things that help it.
And speaking of patenting, another black inventor who was responsible for a lot of inventions that are often attributed to other people, Louis H. Latimer. So he was employed and worked alongside Alexander Graham Bell in the development of the telephone. He also worked alongside Thomas Edison for the development and the commercialization of the light bulb. In 1874, he co-patented an improved toilet system on railroad cars, officially called the water closet for railroad cars. In 1886, he patented the apparatus for cooling and disinfecting. And this would, it's a later developments and improvements would be responsible for modern HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, and air filtration systems. These are some of his patents. As you can see, you can see how it leads right into the technology that we enjoy now.
Oh, so this is Alexander Miles. Alexander Miles created, the elevator already existed, but he created the automatic elevator doors because he saw that with the elevator as it was, a lot of people were falling down the shafts and dying. And he invented this and patented it. He also actually, interestingly enough and kind of correlated, he created an insurance company for black people because, of course, a lot of black people were not able to get insurance through these the popularized companies. So he had an insurance company, and he also created the automatic elevator doors. Both things very helpful for our people. And as we can see, the Most High God has put a lot of people in our midst to just generally help us. The next person is Bessie Blount Griffin. So she was a physiotherapist who worked with a lot of World War II veterans who are amputees. And so you see that a picture with her working with a veteran there. She, in addition to inventing the devices that allow the veterans to eat by themselves, to allow them that sense of autonomy. So she had the invalid feeder and the portable receptacle support, which is patented and included here. She also taught veterans how to write and read Braille with their feet. If they had lost one or both of their arms, they were able to do that.
Last, we have Marie von Britton Brown and Albert L. Brown. So they invented the security system in 1966, consisting of 4 peepholes, a sliding camera, television monitors, and 2-way microphones, which of course we absolutely use now. They also created what is now known as some CCTV, the closed circuit television system for surveillance. And on December 2nd, 1969, they also received a patent for their invention under the U.S. patent number 3,482,037. Yeah, it's as you can see, again, this is a lot of these people and what they're responsible for are either talked about very vaguely or not at all in schools now. So again, we're emphasizing the fact that it's important to learn about the fact that our people were active contributors of the American society, and really societies around the world. Again, focusing on us here. So it's important to know that that we were intelligent people. We were creative. We were innovative, and really making things happen despite our conditions.
So we see that, again, this is a very short list of Black inventors, and it's focused specifically on inventors. We could talk about Hiram Revels and Shirley Chisholm, who are the first in politics for Black people, first people in Congress. We could talk about Oscar Micheaux, who created the first Black-owned movie company, where he was making movies featuring Black people about Black situations. There are so many things in Black history that we can discuss. We could talk about Black towns. I told Amos before, but I had to thank him for bringing my attention to Weeksville, which it was in the general Bed-Stuy, Crown Heights area, was a very popular Black town where not only did you have, doctors and lawyers in that area, it was a lot of people during the draft wars, the draft riots during the Civil War. People were able to escape there. You could talk about your Tulsa, Oklahomas, or your Greenwoods. You could talk about, I learned about this yesterday, Black Dumb, New Mexico. So our people who were going west, they were able to go over there. You have Mound Bayou, Mississippi, a very popular Black town, which had its first hospital in 1942, had a zoo, had all these different things. Our people, despite the conditions that we were made to live in, we were able to overcome so much and become so much because of the Most High God. And I think that when we kind of separate ourselves from the history in these lands, we're really disconnecting ourselves from our history. We recognize that we endured slavery because of our conduct, and the Most High God punished us during this time. But he did not only did he not allow us to be completely destroyed, but he also allowed us, despite all these conditions, to persevere, create things that work for us so that we can be a people who's able to multiply, invent, and have all these contributions to wherever we were. And I just wanted to read something from Isaiah 30 just to close it out. Isaiah 30:13 said, "Therefore Yehovah will wait, that he may be gracious to you, and therefore he will be exalted, that he may have mercy on you. For Yehovah is a God of justice. Blessed are all those who wait for him. For the people will dwell in Zion as Jerusalem. You will weep no more. He will surely be gracious to you at the voice of your cry. When he hears you, he will answer you. Though Yehovah may give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet your teachers won't be hidden anymore, but your eyes will see your teachers. And when you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, 'This is the way, walk in it.'" And so the Most High God has given us all these people to not only ensure that we are people of dignity when we're blessed, but even when we're cursed, we're able to recognize that we are people of value. And as long as we keep our faith in the Most High God, and as long as we try to keep ourselves together as a people, there are no limits to what we can do. No government, no groups of people, nothing can stop us as long as we put the Most High God first and are able to prioritize making what we have already good and sufficient. Thanking the Most High God again for this opportunity. Shabbat Shalom.